Welcome to the Institute of Technology, Mairead.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm delighted to be here in Letterkenny.
And we're certainly delighted to have you. This is the second in our National Forum series, Digital Pathways into Learning Languages. The Minister has just outlined the importance of learning languages nowadays and how this has become a national priority. What about you? Do you think that digital technologies can help us to face this challenge?
I think from my perspective, digital technologies are in every aspect of life. So learning languages, why wouldn't they be in learning languages? You know, we do nearly everything now where we have our smartphone or our little mini computer walking around with us. So why wouldn't we expect that digital technologies and smartphones and every other thing that we can think of could be used to help people to learn languages? I think it's really, really important. I think the Minister has outlined why it's important for Ireland, but if you put that in the context of Europe even, and the whole agenda for multilingual people and to have people who are more, I suppose, broad in what they can do and where they can go and mobility and all those things, I think it's really, really important for Ireland to have people and citizens who can work and live and enjoy many, many languages and cultures.
Well, it certainly sounds like you're convinced, Mairead. Can you maybe outline a little bit of your own experience in this area? For example, what exactly are MOOCs anyway?
So my experience, I suppose, in this is to do with the research that I do and the work that I do in the National Institute of Digital Learning in my own unit called the Ideas Lab. And one of our major projects that we run is a project called Failte Online or Welcome Online. So this project basically is a project where we are seeking to engage with the Irish diaspora and to those who want to learn Irish from all around the world. But how can you do that? Well, digital technology gives us the means by which to do that. So for us, we use the concept of a MOOC, which stands for a Massive Open Online Course. So massive means in terms of the amount or the number of learners who are involved in it. Open means that it's available to all, and online, of course, that it's online, it's available through the internet, and of course, as you would expect, that it's actually a dedicated piece of learning.
Oh, so in other words, you can have a MOOC for anything, really, any form of learning.
Absolutely, and there are MOOCs in every different subject area that you can imagine, from formal disciplinary areas to more recreational areas. Lots of universities are engaging with MOOCs in areas like diabetes to work with ageing populations around dementia and things like that. There's MOOCs in community, there's MOOCs about health, there's MOOCs about sport, there's MOOCs in every area, including all of the normal disciplinary academic areas you would expect.
Yes, and that sounds so interesting. So people all over the world are learning Irish now as a result of your initiative.
Yeah, we were absolutely amazed when we first launched it in early 2018, and actually it was the Minister at the Joe Mhichil at the time who launched it for us. We were sort of a little bit apprehensive and anxious because it's sort of like, if you build it, will they come? So we put this MOOC together, we opened it up online, and I had a very sleepless night that first night. I was waiting to see who would be the first learner, and the first learner was actually an American military man who was based out in Japan. And at 12 o'clock Irish time, he had logged on and started going through the first learning steps that we had in the MOOC. But we've had over 10,000 people just on that one run of the MOOC, so that first iteration, and they joined. And not everybody completes the MOOC, but a lot of people engage with it, and that's one of the aspects of our MOOCs which have been really, really satisfying from a language learning point of view, is that we've had really, really good interactivity and lots of activity amongst our learners, lots of collaboration, lots of engagement, and I think for us that's been hugely beneficial, but it's also given us a chance to get a lot of feedback from the learners. So we know very quickly what they like, what they don't like, what they find hard, and we get a huge amount of data from the MOOC, which is really, really helpful, and that has helped us with learning design. And also, so in the next and subsequent iterations of that one MOOC, we've been able to change things around and think about, okay, so if a learner is at a quiz at a certain point in the MOOC and they we know that 80% of the learners are failing at this question. We know that there's something wrong with the question. It's not necessarily that the learners aren't understanding what we've asked. So we've done a lot of things like that where we've changed the learning design based on user feedback and learner feedback, and that's been really, really instrumental for us.
And it sounds quite fascinating that you are able to record and capture their experience of this new online platform. It must be cutting edge research.
It is, and I think one of my PhD students is doing sentiment analysis, as first-time sentiment analysis has been done in the MOOC environment for languages, and in particular minority languages. So we're delighted that Irish is at the forefront of this, and we recently won the Eden Research Reward paper on this. So that was a huge and a very humbling experience, because you're doing this type of work and you're going, okay, do other people see the benefit of it? So it was really fantastic to receive that reward. But I think more importantly, because we're doing this at scale, we're getting a lot of data, we're then trying to drill down into that data and then connect with learners, so that not only are we working from a statistical and all that point of view, because sometimes you can go too far down one side of the road, we are also trying to connect with learners to hear their opinions and why was it like that, and to get the qualitative aspects of it, so to hear their stories. And that's been a really strong feature of what we've been doing.
Well, that sounds so interesting. There's absolutely no reason why this couldn't be rolled out for other languages such as German, French, Spanish, and used in order to stimulate an interest in language learning here in Ireland and further afield across Europe and the world indeed.
Absolutely, and there are many MOOCs available in languages, open and available to learners. And one thing that's really, really important to remember is that MOOCs don't have to cannibalise what we're currently doing. They're part of a learning ecology, and they also give a mechanism for learners to go and engage with French and German and Spanish and Irish in different ways. So we think that it's really important. It's another aspect. It's like saying, here's another resource, here's another way you can learn, and it's to support learners in their learning. And whichever way we can do that, whether it's through digital means, whether it's through meetups online or whatever, all of those things are really, really important.
And thank you so much for sharing with us this evening, Mairead.
Gurvina man.